So, where are we? We're at 1 o'clock, and I'm taking a timeout. I'm procrastinating. I was just like doing what I do best. Okay, it's like I'm listening to some jazz music, and it's very gray and rainy outside. I have a lot of work to do, and so yeah, I'm taking. A lot of times when I make these short little videos, short for me is like 10 minutes these days, 10 to 15 minutes. It's like a timeout. It's a timeout. And in fact, it quite often is the funnest part of my day is doing these little videos on my YouTube channel. Because, a lot of my day is just stuff that's not so funny and not so fun. And not that this is funny, because there's a lot that goes on here that's not funny, increasingly so. Very worrisome. It's like, this is not a joke, Marion. This is serious. These people are serious. You have to be serious. It's not a soap opera. But but it's interesting nevertheless. And so now I heard earlier this morning that the UK Telegraph has had an exclusive that Meghan had written to King Charles. My understanding was that it was about the coronation, but it seems more and more that no, the letter was actually sent back in 2021, and for some reason they are dredging it up now. I don't know why that might be. According to the Daily Telegraph, the letter was sent following Harry and Meghan's appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show in March 2021. Okay, we're 2023. So it's kind of like, why now does the Telegraph have this exclusive? And it seems that I don't know. I wasn't able to read the Telegraph's article because it's behind a paywall, and I mean, I can't eat. So I mean, I'm not going to pay the Telegraph for their journalism. It's a frightening thought to pay for journalism coming out of the UK at this point. So, or any journalism at this point. I'm starting to just like be very skeptical of all journalism, no matter where it comes from. So yeah, I can't pay for journalism. I have to eat. Okay, like literally buy eggs and, well, not eggs. Well, eggs, but egg can be a trigger word these days. You have to be careful with that word. But anyway, so apparently Meghan had written to King Charles. What I find most interesting about, you see how they're looking at each other here. You know what? Poor King Charles. Poor King Charles. I feel bad. I feel bad about the whole thing. I think he has his issues. I think he has his issues. He has his biases, but I I don't know. I feel bad for him sometimes. I feel like I don't know. I don't know. But I mean, it's like it's not okay to be oblivious at a time like this, King Charles. I mean, it's not excusable, I mean, even, and it's like, I don't know how to say about King Charles. I don't hate him. That's all I can say. I don't hate him, but I do perhaps wish that, um, I don't know what I wish. I don't know what I wish. We have to see. He's only going to be crowned in May, and then after, let's see what he does. Let's see what he does. But so apparently Meghan sent this letter to the king expressing concern about unconscious bias in the royal family. Okay. And this was back in 2021 following her interview with Oprah. And in that interview, Meghan disclosed that someone in the royal family, a senior member, had speculated about how dark Archie's skin would be. She was pregnant with Archie at the time. And the royal family has remained silent, but whistles have been sent out and conclusions have been drawn that Meghan is a liar and that Meghan called the royal family racist, and that it's not true. And she has been excoriated for that. And so it reasonably led to, or I think there was at least a reasonable expectation that this could have led to people thinking that, Meghan is a liar because the royal family didn't confirm or deny anything. But, just based on how things played out, it's kind of like a lot of people really just seem to think that Meghan lied and that nobody in the royal family said anything about Archie's skin color. And as it turns out, this letter, or this report, I should say, in the Telegraph concerning this letter Meghan allegedly wrote to the king confirms, I think, what Meghan said, that somebody in the royal family, a senior member, had expressed concerns about how dark Archie's skin would be. And if that's true, then it means that someone in the royal family, a senior member, does have racist thoughts, right? Now, if you have racist thoughts, does that make you racist? I think those two things could be nuanced. I think that all human beings, everybody, all of us, have our built in issues, our built in biases, our built in prejudices, whatever it is. It may not be skin, it may be something else, maybe fat or nose bridge or just whatever. We all have our biases, our prejudices, and that's just a part of the human condition. So, the fact that you prefer a certain racial look or a certain racial features, does that make you a racist? Um, I don't know, really. It's such a complicated topic, isn't it? But I can't, I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I do think all people have biases and prejudices, and of all racial groups, everybody. You find it in Asia, Africa, Europe, South America. Everybody has issues with race and color and many other things, frankly. And it's maybe not fair to make a conclusion about somebody's entire life based on one thought or one idea or whatever. We can say we're all flawed and we all have issues to work on. But then when you pretend that you don't have these issues and you encourage people to say that someone lied about something that you said or that somebody else said and you are aware of who that is, and you remain silent and you allow people to run away with the idea that the person speaking of this bias or prejudice that was shown to them, that you make it seem like that person lied. I think that's a problem. I do think that's a problem. And I think that happened here where there's a perception that Meghan lied about this issue that was raised about Archie's skin. I think it's a very serious issue. If someone said that it's serious, it doesn't necessarily mean that the person is a raging racist, but it does suggest some insensitivity, some bias and prejudice that perhaps is a human nature and fault, but something that needs to be worked on and something that needs to be addressed, because it's not something that you say to someone about their child, right? You just don't. I mean, even if it flickers in your mind, you work it out in your mind, right? That this is inappropriate. This is someone's child. This is a human person, and you can't be saying that about this person. And then you allow everybody to believe that the person who said it is the one with the problem, right? So that compounds the sin. It's a sin, right? As far as I'm concerned, the prejudice and the bias is a sin, and then you pretend you didn't say this is a lie, and then you encourage others to excoriate and condemn the aggrieved. This is a triple problem. It's a triple lie, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, right? So the fact that this letter, but then the question then becomes, how did the Telegraph even get this letter that was written back in 2021? And why now? Why are they printing it now? And I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of things that are coming out now. Apparently, the article in the Telegraph, which I have not read, ended with the King Charles, saying that he's open to having these studies on racism and so on and so forth. And I I'm not going to sit here and condemn him for being open, but I mean, I would say that 400 years later, I mean, if you need like all these studies to know and to be convinced and to take action, it's like kind of, for me, not so impressive at this point. It's like, for me, the days for the studying are long gone, and now it's time to say, well, what do you plan on doing about it? And and the idea that no official action was taken in terms of the family, and then even publicly, to clear Meghan in this situation is problematic, because if anybody said that about this woman's child, it's just totally, totally, totally inappropriate. It doesn't matter what our human nature is. You don't say that, because God forbid he should have come out with his grandmother Doria's skin color. Then what? Is he less worthy of a title as a prince? Is he what is he dirty? Is he what? Like, I mean, luckily for, quote unquote, luckily for Meghan, her children came out looking Caucasian, right? So everybody can breathe a sigh of relief. But God forbid they had come out looking more like Doria. What are we saying, or what are they saying as the monarchy, as the British public, as the world's population, that these same children would have just been different just by virtue of having Grandma Doria's coloring rather than Meghan's other side. So for me, it's kind of problematic on many different levels, but most of all, the fact that they have allowed everybody to run away with the idea that Meghan lied about this insult, and these are inappropriate things that were said, when in fact it's true. And King Charles even wrote to say that it wasn't malicious. Nothing against King Charles. I like him. I mean, the more I sort of like look at him and read different things, even though I don't think that he fully gets it. I don't think he fully gets it, but I don't hate him. I see a man who is, he's, he's, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't hate this man. And this is not all on him. And I mean, it's really a monarchy, an institution, and he's just a current representative of that. And so it's not all his fault. But now that he has knowledge of what the institution he represents has done and what it has represented, unfortunately, heavy is the head who wears the crown. And yes, he does have some responsibilities here, even public ones, in clearing Meghan's name of being a liar in this context, right? So that's sort of my position. I have to go 13 minutes. I will not have enough space to save this video, so I've got to go. But yeah, there you have it. That was in the Telegraph um, this this weekend. Okay, so yeah.